So in this video, we will learn about a new React Native element component. It's called overlay. It's basically similar to the modal that we have already seen from the React Native, but it provides much more flexibility and styling options. So this over here, as you can see, it's called overlay. Whenever you create overlay component, it will look like this. You can provide this type of overlay to take inputs from the small inputs from the user, like one text input or something like that. So you can make it full screen, but by default it will hold the amount of space that you only require for the component that you put inside. So just create a React Native project and open it on Visual Studio Code. I already opened the iOS simulator. If you are working on Windows machine, then you can also use the Android emulator. So you need to import the overlay component from React Native elements. First of all, let us create two state for name and age, and whenever user press on the button, the information will show on the overlay screen. Let's say const name, set name, use state. Initially it will be an empty string, const age, set age, use state. Initially it will be 0. Now we also need to create a state for the overlay, const visible, set visible. By default it will be false. Now we need to create a function to toggle the overlay. Whenever overlay is displayed on the screen, the area that doesn't cover will be considered as the backdrop. So if we place something outside of the overlay, a function will trigger. We can assign this function on backdrop press event. So toggle overlay, we simply set visible to the opposite of the current state. Okay, now let us create two input field. Placeholder will be enter name, value will be name, on change text, whatever the text is input, we simply set it to name. Let me just save this. Let me just copy this much. Enter your age. Okay. Okay, so now let us create a button. This button we imported from the React Native elements. Title will be, let's say, submit, and on press we'll be calling toggle overlay. Now let us create the overlay screen. So whatever components you provide under this overlay, it will be displayed on the overlay screen. So we need to create a text. Let's say name, and we simply use the name. Another text, this is for age, we simply display the age. Now visible overlay has the is visible prop that we set it to visible state that we have created, and as I mentioned earlier, on backdrop press we will be invoking the same function. Now let me just save this. Now if I enter my name over here, region, and if I write age, now if I press on submit, as you can see, it will be displayed on the overlay screen. Name is Brijan and age is 24. Now the area that doesn't covered by overlay, it means that this area, if we click on that, this function will come into the place. If I click on this, it will simply disappear. Now we can also apply styling to it. We can apply overlay style over here. We can change the background color, let's say yellow. We can change the width to, let's say, 300 and height to 200. Let me just save this. If I press on submit, as you can see, the height and width is increased. Now we can also provide the styling to the area that doesn't covered by the overlay. It's called backdrop style. Backdrop style. Let's say if I put background color gray, if I press submit, as you can see, it changed to gray. I can also provide the opacity over here. Opacity of, let's say, 0.5. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. So this is how you can create an overlay screen. It is similar to modal, but it provides much more flexibility in terms of stylings. So you can use it in real applications. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching it.